Hello, and good Saturday morning to you. Hope everything's going well for you. And if you will, go ahead and get your Bible, and we'll be in the 144th Psalm today. Psalm 144. And we'll be starting in the 12th verse. Um, Psalm 144, beginning in verse 12. And again, this is, as it says over the in the superscription, it is a psalm of David, and David is calling out for help. He needs God's help. Most likely, this psalm was written during the time he was fleeing from Saul. Um, don't know that to be positive, but it would fit and seems to be accurate. And so, beginning in verse 11 today, we'll start there. And to me, it's a kind of a funny turn of words that he uses, a funny descriptor that he uses in verse 11 when he talks about rid me of and deliver me from the strange children. But then he goes into verse 12 when he gives his reasoning for what he is looking for. That our sons may be as plants grown up in their youth, that our daughters may be as cornerstones polished after the similitude of the palace. And it's pretty clear what David is praying for. He's praying that he would be able to overcome uh, his enemies. He would be victorious, so that and if you read that, you see it's not just his families or his family, but all the families of Israel would be blessed by his victory, by his being able to overcome this enemy that was attacking him, that their children would grow up and be mature, that they would contribute, that they would be bring goodness to the land. That our garners may be full, affording all manner of store, that our sheep may bring forth thousands and 10,000s in our streets. And again, very clear what he's praying for. He's just simply praying for prosperity, that God would bless them. When he says our garners, that's a word for barns, that our barns would be filled with our harvest, that our sheep would be fertile and reproduce. Verse 14, that our oxen may be strong to labor, that there be no breaking in nor going out, there be no complaining in our streets. And so, again, he's just praying, um, in many ways, a very unselfish prayer, that through God's deliverance for him, that Israel would be blessed. That there be no complaining in the street, no breaking in or going out. Um, Pretty clear again that nobody would be breaking into Jerusalem, that the city itself would be safe. And finally, he says, happy is that people that is in such a case, yea, happy is that people whose God is the Lord. And what that last verse is saying to us is that the things that David had just prayed for, the peace, the security, the blessings on their family and their harvest and their flocks, that those were the results of people who choose to serve God and choose to worship Him, that choose to be obedient to God. And again, we this prayer is a good example for us of receiving and understanding the blessing of God. It always kind of surprises me a little bit occasionally when someone will come into my office and want to talk, and they're they're having just these devastating problems in their life or in their marriage, and you listen to them talk just a little bit, and the thought pops into your head, where is God in your situation? You've totally abandoned any principle, any idea for God. One of the best lines, and I believe the name of the book is "The Heart of the Matter" by Henry Brandt, and I'm pretty sure that's the right book. But the line is what always caught me. He says, when you're doing counseling, you listen, and if somebody's hurting, if you listen long enough, somewhere one of God's principles is being violated. One of God's laws is being broken. David says, "Happy is the people that obey the Lord." It doesn't mean we get everything we want. Doesn't mean we have uh, no problems whatsoever. But it's a happiness that comes from the inside, a joy that we know we're serving God. But it comes from obedience. All right, think about that today, and we'll see you back here first thing next week.